That's a killer question. Let's go ahead and get into it. Just got back in from tour. Got back in around 2 a.m., 2:30 a.m., finally walked in the house. Just threw everything on the couch, crashed myself out. This is BB. Every time my stuff gets piled up, she's always protecting it. Thanks for keeping my gear safe. Don't worry, I'm not going nowhere. I couldn't think of a more perfect timing to answer this question. Being off the road, I've got all my stuff with me. We can go over that. Let's dive in. As you can see, my entire world here is in pieces. I take all my little foamy traps like this when I have to go on the road, and I cover up all my analog gear because cats, sometimes they'll jump up on here when I'm gone, turn my knobs in my gear. So foam keeps them out of doing that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all this cleaned back up. We'll answer this question, talk about our favorite drum mics live. Let's rock. On a side note, before we jump into microphones, the super not sexy purchase for the studio, 8 terabyte moving disk drives, way more stable than solid state drives. If these go out, you can at least recover your files. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm sure you guys all have a bunch of these, T7s, these old G drives, cool like M.2 enclosures. You just pop this open and you pop an M.2 in there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 terabytes worth of data. So we're gonna transfer all the solid state data and these 2 backup hard drives over to this guy today. Woohoo! Star of the show, drum mics. Let's go into it. So on the road, I am rocking an SE Arena Pack here. So this is what I'm rocking on my drums with a couple of little extras here. I'm rocking V-Kick. This is my kick drum out mic. Love this thing. This thing moves low end like no kick drum mic I've ever heard in my life. This thing destroys a D112, absolutely eats a Beta 52 alive. Haven't tried the Telefunken M82 yet. Can't say anything about that. Every other kick drum mic, like kick out mic that I've used, this destroys it. Moving on to the V-Beats. So the Arena Pack only comes with 3 V-Beats. My drummer has 4 toms. So I have an extra V-Beat here. I actually use this for my live streams. These things kill. Like these things absolutely destroy like a 604. I think these are really hard microphones to beat. Like these actually got me off of the Loudon Audio tom mics. You really don't have to try that hard to get them to fit in a mix. So yeah, SE V-Beats on the toms and even on the snare drum for the win. These are the SE8s. So one of these is on my hi-hat, one of these is on my ride. For my overheads, I'm actually using Audio-Technica AT2020s. No, don't laugh at the AT2020. Do not stick your nose up at that microphone. It's a $100 microphone. You can replace it at any Guitar Center. That thing sounds amazing on overheads. So if somebody drops it, if you run over it with a road case, something happens to it, you're out $100. Go get you another one. Haven't tried them on overheads yet. I actually am pretty curious to check those out as an overhead pair. Amazing ride mics, amazing hi-hat mics, great all-around workhorses. That takes us to this guy right here, the V7X. You'll never be able to tell what I'm using that on. This right now is my snare top mic. You can tell it's got the classic stick hit right there in the grill. Out of all the mics I've used on the road, these are probably some of the most sturdy. This to me, got it in the package, I throw it on snares. Not quite my personal favorite snare mic. I'll explain why. For the kick in, I've got an SE BL8. All the dip switches are off. It's just in regular mode. 10 dB pad so I can get some of my preamp color in it, and low cuts turned off. This thing is a Beta 91 killer. The attack on a Beta 91 for me is a little bit too aggressive for the band that I'm working with right now. This gives me more information to work with than a Beta 91 does, especially like in like the high end. I can shape the attack of the kick drum into anything I want to with this mic. I can go death metal click, like hard rock punch, country soft pillow. I can do every single genre I need using just this one mic. If I just wanted one kick mic, I could ditch the V-Kick and I could totally be fine using a BL8. This thing absolutely kills. Just to kind of talk about the V7X a little tiny bit more, it's not like me and this microphone don't get along. I'm just absolutely spoiled rotten, and for most of my career, I've been using Telefunken M80s on snares, and for me, a Telefunken M80 on a snare drum is just, it's impossible to beat. You're not gonna beat that open top end on a Telefunken M80. You're not gonna beat the SPL handling on a Telefunken M80. But I prefer this over the Loudon Audio snare mic. That Loudon Audio snare mic is north of $350, and it's a JFET condenser mic. Now, I do have to preface the Loudon Audio stuff. As you can see here, we were on an entire Loudon Audio drum package. Those microphones are incredible. The Loudon Audio microphones are built like absolute tanks. You grab one of their microphones, you grab the tom mic, you grab the snare mic, you grab one of their like 208s, which they're like the front address condensers, amazing on a kick drum. And they're large diaphragm condensers on the overheads. I actually really miss those. But yeah, the snare mic and the tom mics, in my particular case, my drummer hits his drums like an absolute fucking freight train. Like that dude, every bit of like 140 dB coming off those heads. Not an exaggeration at all. The Loudon Audios have an SPL limit of about 135 dB, which in a dynamic microphone, not a problem. You can totally cheat that. We'll start rounding out those transients and kind of sounding a little bit tapey, a little bit vintagey when you start exceeding those levels. The Loudon Audios being a condenser mic, if you start exceeding those SPL levels at the source with those condensers, it just takes that beautiful punch in that transient and just lobs it off. Like it's almost like running a clipper live on the microphone without clipping the microphone. I will say I did have one show where I had a different drummer behind the kit running the full Loudon audio package. He didn't play the drums like they owe him lunch money, and that is where those microphones absolutely just came to life for me. Those microphones finally clicked whenever I got a different drummer in the seat. But for my particular situation, in my use case with my artist, it was about finding the right microphone to handle just the sheer SPL levels he can throw at it while still sounding really good. And for me, that's the SE stuff. This kit, these V-Beats, the V-Kick, and like even the V7X, like I love my M80s, they're amazing. They do get beat up pretty bad. Having to replace a grill capsule every single tour just started kind of getting old. In its place, I'm totally cool using a V7X. It's a $100 microphone. I can go to Guitar Center anywhere and replace this if it gets damaged. I can't do that with an M80. So the M80s now just kind of chill at the studio. So yeah, the Arena Pack, the extra tom mic, and the BL8 are what I'm taking out with me live every single day. Doesn't matter the band, doesn't matter the situation. These guys go with me everywhere. I absolutely love them. Another thing I'm doing today is ripping a Band-Aid off. It's time for me to upgrade my machine. I've got this 6-core i7, 32 gig RAM Mac Mini here. I'm officially out of date on it. It sucks. Maybe you guys can help me out. Do I go Mac Mini? Do I go Mac Studio? Do I go with like a refurb? Everything's spec'd out the same. M4 Pro, 64 gig of RAM, 1 terabyte hard drive on every single one of the options. Mac Studio, M4 Max, 64 gig of unified memory, and the 1 terabyte. I've also been like reading, I guess, that Pro Tools isn't M4 compatible yet, so I'm looking up some refurbished M2 Maxes. What would you guys get for a Pro Tools rig? Running Pro Tools Ultimate, like mixing 200, 300 tracks at a time. Don't be a pro unless you want to do pro and spend pro money. Woohoo! That's the drum mics I'm using. Help me pick out a computer. Tell me what I gotta buy. Spend my money for me. Hope that answers the question. Thanks for watching.